everyone, and welcome to What's Up Wednesdays. My name is Azucena Gonzalez, the Zumba Realtor, and I'm here today to break it down because we all know that all the forms that we sign or come across when in a real estate transaction can be a little tricky, overwhelming, and like, oh my God. So I'm here to take some of that away. Now, let's get to it. Today I'm going to talk about the residential buyers. Let's start that all over. The residential buyer's inspection notice and seller's response. Okay, so AKA we call that the BINSR. So you're like, what is the BINSR? Essentially, it's a 3-part document of 2 pages where the buyer has an opportunity to be like, all right, this is the end of the inspection period, or we're cutting it short, depending on the situation. And the buyer can either say, hey, I am going to go ahead and accept the premises as is. We look forward to closing escrow without requesting any items be fixed. Then we have the rejection of premises saying we don't want the premises due to XYZ reasons, and you must state at least 2 reasons why. The third one says, hey, I, the buyer, will provide the seller an opportunity to fix the disapproved items. Okay, now this is where the buyer is able to have a little wish list of like, these are the things that I want to be fixed. Now, a couple of things for both parties to keep in mind, both parties being the seller and the buyer, is buyer, this is not the time to go crazy and ask for 101 things. Okay, you want to be very mindful of what you ask for and that you ask for the things that are most important to you. All right, seller, this has been your home or your investment property, what have you. It can be an emotional process, but looking at your home from an outside perspective is very different from the way you see it, right? So it's not personal. Okay, just something to be mindful of. Now, after that, depending on the election that the buyer makes, the seller then has the opportunity to give a response to that election. That being said, you're like, okay, what are those elections? What is the seller's response then to the buyer's election? Essentially, the first one, seller agrees to correct the items disapproved by buyer pursuant to terms set forth herein and in section 6J of the contract. Second one, seller is unwilling or unable to correct any of the items disapproved by buyer. Seller's response to buyer's notice is as follows. Alrighty, so the seller still has the opportunity to be like, you know what, I'm not fixing anything, or you know what, I can fix XYZ things, or I'm gonna go ahead and fix everything that you asked me for. Okay, so we all have options. By the time the seller gets that back to you, which after the buyer's realtor sends that over to the seller's realtor, the seller has to respond within those 5 days, unless otherwise specified through an addendum or something. Typically 5 days. The ball is then back in the buyer's court. We have that buyer election on the bottom part of the second page, and it says, to be completed only if seller has not agreed to correct all items disapproved. So if the seller did not agree to correct all of the items, the buyer has 2 different responses that they can give. So again, if the seller is saying that they don't want to fix any of the items, the buyer can go ahead and cancel the contract, or the buyer accepts seller's response to buyer's notice and agrees to close escrow without corrections of those items seller has agreed not to correct in writing. Okay, so that means, again, the buyer election is only something that has to be filled out if the seller has, let me start all over because I don't want to say that wrong. The buyer's election portion of the second page at the bottom, the buyer needs to fill out this bottom part, because then they have the option of saying, you know what, I cancel this contract, or you know what, I accept the fact they're going to go ahead and only fix 3 of the 5 items. And then after that, we're on to the next step. Yay, boo, yes. So again, at any point at this time, once we start the BINSR, the buyer has 2 opportunities to cancel contract, and then the seller has 1. Okay, something to be mindful of. And yeah, so there's always different places for you to say, is this going to work out, yes or no? So don't ever feel stuck. You always have options. Are they the most ideal? Perhaps not, but it's always about making the best out of the situation. Got any questions? Let me know. I am here for you. You can always feel free to reach out to me, social media, Facebook, Instagram, call me, email me, text me, whatever you want to do. But until next time, I'll see you soon.